Loyalty. People talk about it like it's sacred, like it's some unbreakable bond carved in stone. But here's the brutal truth most men learn too late. Loyalty is the most beautiful illusion and the most dangerous lie. People swear they'll never betray you. They promise they'll stay with you through fire. They look you in the eye and say, "You can trust me." But understand this, most people aren't loyal to you. They're loyal to their needs. And the moment their needs change, so does their loyalty. A Machiavellian mind understands this. Machiavelli taught that humans follow interest, not devotion. They stay close as long as you provide something they want: power, protection, image, or opportunity. Take that away, and suddenly the same loyal person becomes cold, silent, or distant. Not because you changed, but because their benefits disappeared. This video will expose the shadows behind loyalty, the signs that someone's loyalty is not real, but strategic, temporary, or already breaking behind your back. You're going to discover the exact red flags that Machiavellian thinkers use to judge character, protect their power, and avoid silent betrayal long before it happens. Because betrayal doesn't start with a knife. It starts with a shift in behavior, a hesitation, a strange silence, a subtle change in how they look at you, and most people ignore those signs until it's too late. But after today, you won't. You're going to see through people. You'll know who stands beside you and who's waiting for the perfect moment to step away. And one more thing, never forget that loyalty is tested only under pressure, risk, and sacrifice. Anyone can pretend to be loyal when everything is easy, but fake loyalty collapses the moment life stops rewarding them. So before we begin the 7 signs, I want you to take a moment and anchor yourself in this truth, the truth that will protect you for the rest of your life. Trust slowly, observe deeply, cut quickly, and here's your affirmation. Drop it in the comments to lock it into your mind. Loyalty must be earned. Sign 1. Their loyalty depends on benefits. Most people don't stay loyal to you because of honor, values, or any deep personal connection. They stay loyal because you serve a purpose in their life. And the moment that purpose fades, their loyalty dissolves like smoke in the wind. A Machiavellian mind never forgets this truth. Loyalty that grows from advantage is the most fragile kind of loyalty because it exists only in the presence of gain. Watch how people behave around you. When you're winning, when you're respected, when you're admired, suddenly, everyone wants to be close. They smile wider. They show up faster. They speak sweeter. They say things like, "I'll always be there, and you can count on me." But their words aren't rooted in devotion. They're rooted in what you provide. Are you useful to them? Do you raise their status? Do you make their life easier? Do you make them feel safe, connected, protected, or empowered? If the answer is yes, then they act loyal. But remove any of those benefits, even slightly, and you'll see a shift. You'll feel the air change. Someone who once praised you may now criticize you. Someone who supported you may become strangely distant. Someone who relied on you may suddenly act like they don't remember your value. That change is not random. It's interest recalibrating itself. Machiavelli once said, "Men are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly, covetous, and as long as you succeed, they are yours. They offer you their blood, their property, their lives, and their children. But when you need them, they turn against you." This is why a wise man never trusts loyalty that comes without pressure, sacrifice, or risk. Because comfort loyalty is fake loyalty. People can afford to be devoted when nothing is being asked from them. The true test comes when you no longer make their life easier, when you stop providing advantages, when your name doesn't carry the same weight, when you face a setback, a loss, a challenge, or a moment of vulnerability. That's when you will see who was loyal to you and who was loyal to the benefits attached to you. There are people who act close to you because being affiliated with you boosts their status. They attach themselves to your power like climbers clinging to a wall. But the moment that wall starts shaking, they're already thinking about where to climb next. Pay attention to those who are loyal only when they need you. These people treat relationships like transactions. Once they extract what they want, they start withdrawing their presence, their warmth, their support. They become ghost-like, physically present, but emotionally gone. A man who is loyal for gain will betray for gain. That is why relying on someone's kindness or good heart is a dangerous strategy. If their loyalty is rooted in their interest, then betrayal will also be rooted in their interest. Machiavellian strategy teaches you not to hate these people, but to understand them. Human nature is designed this way. People cling to what strengthens them and abandon what weakens them. You are not meant to take it personally. You are meant to recognize the pattern. You must learn to see who is there because of your character and who is there because of your value in their personal economy. Once you identify benefit-based loyalty, you take back control because now their actions no longer surprise you. Their shift no longer hurts you. Their betrayal no longer blindsides you. You expected it. And in the world of power, expectation is protection. Drop it in the comments to seal this lesson into your mind. Value reveals loyalty. Sign 2. Their words are loud, but their actions are quiet. One of the clearest signs that someone's loyalty is a lie is when their mouth works harder than their hands. They talk loudly, dramatically, emotionally about how much they care, how much they support you, how much they have your back. Yet, when it's time to prove any of those promises, they suddenly shrink into insolence, excuses, delays, or convenient disappearances. Loyal people don't need to announce their loyalty, because loyalty is visible without speaking, but fake loyalty needs constant advertising. Why? Because empty souls rely on noise to conceal emptiness. The louder they praise you, the more you should observe their actions, because real loyalty is quiet, steady, and consistent, while fake loyalty is theatrical, exaggerated, and often performed for an audience. Notice the people who shower you with compliments in public, but are completely absent when you ask for something simple in private. Notice those who swear they will stand with you, but when pressure appears, they start hesitating, questioning, or changing the topic. Notice those who remind you of their sacrifices, but never actually sacrifice anything. Their loyalty exists only in words because words cost nothing, require no risk, and demand no true commitment. Machiavelli once said, "The promise given was a necessity of the past." The word brachini is a necessity of the present, meaning people speak based on convenience, not truth. They promise when it benefits them, but when circumstances change, they break those promises just as easily. You can see this clearly in people who use dramatic language. "I'll always be there. I'd never betray you. You mean so much to me." Yet when you need them to take one step forward, they take 2 steps back. Their support becomes vague. Their presence becomes inconsistent. Their tone becomes weaker. They become masters of delay. "I'll do it tomorrow. I'm busy right now. Let me check. I'll try." These phrases are not signs of respect. They're signs of avoidance. Their actions reveal the truth they don't want to admit. They are loyal only when loyalty is comfortable. Their help has limits. Their support has conditions. Their loyalty has a price. And here's the dangerous part. People who talk too much about loyalty often use those words to manipulate your perception, to soften your guard, or to build trust they never intend to honor. They want you to feel emotionally safe so they can operate without being questioned. But a Machiavellian thinker never trusts words alone. He watches patterns, who shows up without being asked, who remembers without being reminded, who takes responsibility without being pushed. Fake loyal people show up only when it's convenient or when someone else is watching. They prefer the applause of seeming loyal rather than the burden of being loyal. Their loud words are a mask meant to distract you from the truth beneath. If someone constantly tells you what they'll do, but rarely does it, you're dealing with an opportunist, not an ally. And the moment circumstances require real loyalty, their words collapse like a house made of dust. Remember, actions cut through illusions, words build illusions. Always judge loyalty by what someone does when nobody is watching and when they have nothing to gain. That is the real metric of character. Drop it in the comments to strengthen your instinct. Actions expose truth. Sign 3. They keep 1 foot inside, 1 foot outside. A powerful sign that someone's loyalty is unstable, temporary, or already in the process of collapsing is when they stay close enough to benefit from you, but distant enough to escape if things go wrong. These people never fully commit, never fully invest, and never fully tie themselves to you. They keep one foot inside your world, just enough to gather opportunities, information, and access, but they also keep one foot outside, maintaining backup relationships, backup alliances, and backup narratives that allow them to switch sides the moment it becomes beneficial. This dual positioning is not an accident. It is a strategy woven into their personality. They move like a person testing the temperature of water with their toes. They want the warmth, but fear the depth. They fear losing their safety, their reputation, or their advantage if they stand too close to you. So they stay in a half-loyal, half-detached state, always monitoring what they can gain and what they might lose. If you rise, they step closer. If you struggle, they step back. If you succeed, they claim you. If you fail, they distance themselves or pretend they didn't know you well. This is the behavior of people who view loyalty as a temporary rental, not a long-term commitment. Machiavelli once said, "A prudent man always seeks to secure himself in such a way that he may never have cause to fear the inconstancy of others," meaning, the wise man does not rely on people who stand with him only halfway. You must pay attention to those who are undecided about you, those who hesitate to define their position, those who avoid standing with you publicly even while benefiting from you privately. These individuals want the rewards of association without the risks of loyalty. They build escape routes in their friendships. They maintain relationships with your enemies just in case. They talk nicely to you, but also stay connected to people who dislike you. They offer support, but in the smallest, safest dose. Their loyalty is like a door left slightly open. They can walk out whenever they choose. You will notice they avoid making clear commitments. They prefer vague language, indirect support, and conditional presence. They'll say things like, "I'm with you, but I support you as long as I'll stand by you." Depending on these qualifiers reveal their true nature. They are positioning themselves, not supporting you. They don't want to burn bridges, but they also don't want to build one with you fully. This kind of half-low person is dangerous because they can betray you without feeling like a traitor. In their mind, they were never fully committed in the first place. If trouble comes, they will simply slip out the back door and claim, "I was never involved." Their neutrality is actually preparation. Their distance is actually calculation. Their silence is actually loyalty to their own self-interest. Understand this. A person who hesitates to stand beside you when there is a little risk will abandon you completely when there is real danger. A person who keeps backup options is already considering leaving you. A person who refuses to close the exit door is preparing to walk through it. The Machiavellian mindset teaches you not to confront these people directly, but to observe them without emotion. Never give them full trust. Never give them full access. Never expect full loyalty. Treat them as temporary passengers, not long-term allies. And more importantly, never anchor your stability to someone who isn't willing to anchor theirs to you. Drop it in the comments to sharpen your awareness. Half loyalty is betrayal. Sign 4. They study you more than they support you. One of the darkest and most overlooked signs of false loyalty is when someone watches you more than they help you. When their presence feels less like companionship and more like quiet surveillance. These people do not stand beside you. They stand slightly behind you, observing, analyzing, collecting information. They listen closely, not to understand you, but to map you. They notice your strengths, not to admire them, but to measure them. They memorize your weaknesses, not to protect you, but to store them for a future advantage. A truly loyal person uses what they know about you to shield you, but an opportunist uses what they know about you to position themselves. Their questions are never innocent. They gather details to predict your moves, your limits, and your reactions. They pay attention to what makes you angry, what makes you doubt yourself, what pressures you, what distracts you, what motivates you. They're not helping you. They're studying how you work. Their support is minimal, superficial, or symbolic, but their observation is constant. You may notice they rarely offer solutions when you're struggling. Instead, they listen with unusual interest. They ask for updates, but never offer help. They encourage you to open up, but never lift a finger to lighten your burden. Their loyalty feels like an investigation disguised as concern. A Machiavellian thinker recognizes this pattern instantly because it is how strategists behave in the political world. Gather information first, make moves later. Machiavelli once said, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone sees what you appear to be. Few touch what you are." These people want to touch what you are. They want to access the parts of you that are not public, your fears, your insecurities, your vulnerabilities, because private tech knowledge is a weapon in the hands of an opportunist. They aren't loyal to your growth. They are loyal to the power they gain from understanding you. Notice how they react when you succeed. They don't fully celebrate because your success limits their ability to influence you. Notice how they react when you fail. They become more curious because your failure reveals more data. These people love being near you when you're uncertain, confused, or emotionally exposed. It gives them a sense of psychological advantage. They observe your patterns the way a hunter observes prey, quietly, patiently calculating the perfect moment to use what they know, either to rise above you or to distance themselves strategically. They might even pretend to advise you, but only in ways that keep you predictable, manageable, or dependent. Their guidance is often vague, hesitant, or subtly discouraging, never empowering. Why? Because empowering you reduces their leverage. A loyal friend strengthens your wings. A false loyalist studies how far you can fly and how they can benefit from your direction. They admire you only to understand what they can extract from you. They stay close only to read you better. And the moment they gather enough information, their behavior shifts. Their warmth fades. Their curiosity cools. Their presence becomes sporadic. And if betrayal benefits them, they use what you told them as fuel. This is why a powerful man guards his inner world. A Machiavellian mind shares selectively, reveals strategically, and watches who becomes more interested when support is needed. If someone is always listening but rarely helping, always collecting but never contributing, always observing but never acting, they are not loyal, they are preparing. Drop it in the comments to sharpen your instincts. My silence is my shield. Sign 5. They disappear when you're not useful. Another brutal but undeniable sign of fake loyalty is how quickly someone's presence evaporates the moment you lose value in their world. These people cling to you when you are rising, when your life is smooth, when your status is strong, when your confidence is steady, and when your name carries a certain shine. They enjoy the reflection they receive from standing beside you. They enjoy the access, the reputation boost, the social advantage, or the emotional comfort they get through you. But the moment you stumble, the moment you hit a difficulty, the moment you stop giving them the benefits they relied on, you will watch them slowly, silently, and strategically fade away. Fake loyalty collapses the moment you stop being useful. These people are masters of selective presence. They show up when the room is full, but disappear when the room is dark. They check on you when everything looks good, but stay silent when you actually need support. Their loyalty is not tied to you. It is tied to the convenience they experience around you. When you're strong, they're excited. When you're stable, they're supportive. When you're winning, they're loyal. But strength, stability, and winning are illusions of time. Everyone faces moments where life punches back, and it is exactly during these moments, your lowest points, that the truth about someone's loyalty becomes clear. A loyal person does not need you to be powerful to stand beside you. A loyal person sees you as more than a source of value. A loyal person respects your humanity, not just your usefulness. But fake loyalists behave differently. When you lose a job, they become distant. When you stop giving them advice, they stop calling. When you can't help them anymore, they suddenly don't have time for you. When you're struggling mentally, financially, or emotionally, they don't offer support because you are no longer a resource. They have no interest in someone who can't provide something in return. Machiavelli once said, Men are quicker to forget the death of a father than the loss of a patrimony, meaning, people take the loss of their benefit harder than the loss of an actual relationship. If you take away their advantage, they will emotionally disconnect from you with stunning speed. You can see this behavior clearly in people who act like ghosts during your hardship. They don't check in. They don't offer a hand. They don't ask if you're okay. They avoid you because your struggle reminds them that you are no longer useful, and dealing with you provides no gain. And here's the darker truth. They don't want to be associated with your struggle because it does not elevate them socially or emotionally. They only want proximity hen. It makes them look or feel better. These individuals treat relationships the same way a businessman treats seasonal employees: temporary, replaceable, expendable. And the moment the season ends, so does their involvement. You will also notice another pattern. When you recover, succeed again, or regain strength, these same people may try to return with smiles, excuses, or sudden concern, but their disappearance has already revealed their true character. A person who vanishes during your struggle does not deserve access during your success. A man must learn that loyalty measured only during bright periods is not loyalty. It is opportunism wearing a friendly mask. The most powerful men on earth understand this lesson deeply. They judge people not by who appears when everything is perfect, but by who stays when everything is falling apart. If someone is only around when you are valuable, they were never loyal to you. They were loyal to the version of you that benefited them. And once that version fades, so do they. Recognizing this truth does not make you cold. It makes you wise. It protects your spirit from disappointment and your future from betrayal. Drop it in the comments to lock this awareness into your mind. Hard times reveal truth. Sign 6. Their respect comes with conditions. A powerful sign that someone's loyalty is nothing but a performance is when their respect for you isn't stable. It shifts depending on how much you are serving their ego, their needs, or their expectations. These people don't respect you for who you are. They respect you for what you provide. The moment you stop feeding their pride, supporting their comfort, or aligning with their preferences, their tone changes, their warmth cools, their admiration shrinks, their loyalty suddenly becomes fragile, defensive, or even hostile. They treat respect like a contract. As long as you follow their script, they act loyal. But the second you set boundaries, say no, express your own needs, or stop acting in ways that benefit them, they begin to distance themselves or show irritation. Their loyalty was never rooted in appreciation. It was rooted in control. They behave as if you owe them consistency even when they don't offer the same to you. If you don't give them what they want, they withdraw affection. If you don't behave the way they prefer, they act cold. If you don't prioritize their feelings, they act offended. Their respect depends on conditions you never agreed to. This is why your smallest change can make them uncomfortable. They weren't loyal to you. They were loyal to a version of you that served them. When you grow, they feel threatened because your growth disrupts their control. When you become more confident, they feel insecure because your confidence reduces their influence. When you stop seeking their approval, they feel irrelevant because your independence exposes how conditional their loyalty truly was. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Why? Because people who love you conditionally can withdraw that love whenever it suits them. But respecting a strong independent man is harder to manipulate. Conditional loyalists, however, prefer you soft, predictable, dependent, or apologetic. They want you pliable, not powerful. That is why they punish you emotionally when you stop catering to them. They may use guilt. You've changed. They may use passive aggression. Do whatever you want. They may use distance. I just need space. These reactions are clues. They reveal that their loyalty was attached to how much validation, attention, or obedience they received from you. And here's the truth most people ignore. Conditional loyalty is a form of quiet domination. These people reward you with kindness when you give them control and punish you with coldness when you resist. Their respect is a tool, not a value. They use it to shape your behavior, not to honor your character. A real loyal person respects your boundaries, your individuality, And your decisions, even when they don't benefit from them, they don't make you feel guilty for growing. They don't pull away because you said no. They don't stop supporting you because your choices didn't serve them. Fake loyalists, however, treat every boundary as an insult and every disagreement as disloyalty. And that's because they were never loyal to you. They were loyal to the comfort they experienced around you. The moment your needs conflict with theirs, their loyalty fractures. And once you see this pattern, you realize something powerful. Conditional respect is not respect at all. It is a leash. And the moment you cut that leash, these people reveal how quickly their so-called loyalty collapses. Drop it in the comments to reinforce your strength. I owe no one obedience. Sign 7. Their silence speaks louder than their loyalty. One of the coldest, most painful, and most revealing signs of false loyalty is the silence someone keeps when you're under attack, under pressure, or under judgment. A person who claims loyalty will stand with you when it costs them nothing. But a person who proves loyalty stands with you when it costs them something: reputation, comfort, acceptance, or safety. Fake loyalists avoid these moments because they expose the truth. When you're challenged, insulted, or misrepresented, loyal people defend you even when you are not in the room. Fake loyalists stay quiet because speaking up requires courage, and courage is something they never built. Their silence is a strategic decision. They don't speak because they fear losing social points. They don't defend you because they don't see benefit in it. They don't stand beside you because standing beside someone in a difficult moment means risking being targeted as well. So they choose the safest position, neutrality. But neutrality during betrayal is betrayal. Silence is not harmless. Silence is approval dressed as avoidance. It tells the world, I won't help him because helping him does nothing for me. A loyal person may not always know what to say, but they will never abandon you in a moment where your name is being dragged, your character questioned, or your intentions twisted. Fake loyalists disappear into the background and pretend they didn't see anything. They pretend they're staying out of drama. They pretend they don't want to get involved. But these excuses reveal everything. They never had the heart to protect you. Machiavelli once said, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. The people around you, especially in moments of conflict, show you exactly where they stand. If someone stands silent when your reputation is on the line, they are not beside you. They are watching from a safe distance, hoping things resolve without them needing to take a risk. These people are quick to celebrate your victories, but vanish when you face adversity. They are loud when you shine, but mute when you suffer. Their loyalty only functions under good lighting, but loyalty under pressure is the only loyalty that matters. When a man refuses to defend you in front of others, it means he doesn't value you enough to risk anything. It means his loyalty was emotional convenience, not moral conviction. These are the same people who will later say, I didn't want to make things worse, or I thought you could handle it, or I didn't think it was my place. These claims are nothing but self-protection, disguised as neutrality. Their silence is not accidental. It is calculated. It is the silence of someone who wants to maintain relationships with everyone even at the cost of yours. It is the silence of someone who fears social disapproval more than they value your bond. It is the silence of someone who will betray you quietly long before they ever betray you openly. And here is the harsh truth. If someone cannot support you when defending you is difficult, they do not deserve to stand next to you when celebrating you is easy. You must surround yourself with those who speak when it matters, not those who vanish when it matters most. Judge loyalty by the person who steps forward, not the one who steps back. Judge character by the voice that defends you, not the silence that abandons you. Drop it in the comments to sharpen your inner power. Silence reveals loyalty. If you've made it this far, understand something very clearly. Most people will never reach this level of self-awareness. They go through life half asleep, driven by reactions, impulses, insecurities, and habits they never question. You, on the other hand, just walk through 7 signs that separate the weak from the powerful, the distracted from the focused, and the manipulated from the self-directed. that alone puts you miles ahead of the crowd. Because real strength isn't loud, it isn't dramatic, it isn't something you shout about so others can clap for you. Real strength is silent, internal, strategic, the kind Machiavelli respected. It's the kind of strength that builds itself in the dark long before the world notices. And that's exactly what you're redoing right now, building yourself from the inside out. But here's the truth most people can't handle. Transformation is not a one-time event. It's a lifestyle. You don't become powerful by listening to one video. You become powerful by applying, practicing, and repeating until the mindset becomes your identity. The moment you stop, you start slipping back into the version of yourself you've already outgrown. So take everything you learned here, every sign, every insight, every psychological shift, and start applying them immediately. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because the world is moving fast and hesitation is the biggest enemy of progress. And remember, the goal is not to impress anyone. The goal is to become the kind of man who does not need validation, approval, or permission to rise. The kind of man who leads himself. The kind of man who is impossible to manipulate, impossible to break, and impossible to ignore. If you want more content that sharpens your mind, strengthens your spirit, and transforms you into the kind of man Machiavelli himself would respect, make sure you subscribe right now. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next lesson, because the next video is going to take you even deeper into the mindset of power, control, and psychological mastery. And if this message hit you hard, good. That means you're ready. Now go build the version